Hello everybody, it's Christy Day of Wool Envy, and I'm here to give you a really quick rundown on the absolute basics of spinning on a spinning wheel. Now, if you're just getting started with spinning yarn, I highly recommend you start with a spindle. It is much easier and it's about 10 times cheaper. However, if you have already mastered spindling and you just need to go a lot faster, it's time to get yourself a wheel. I have the Kromski Prelude. Just a basic, pretty wheel. I like it a lot. I hope this helps you if you've got a Kromski. There's not a lot of Kromski videos out there that cater to absolute beginners. When I say absolute beginner, I mean I'm in a small town in the middle of the U.S. with no fiber guilds that close to me. Closest one is 45 minutes away. I have small children. I've got to run back and forth to school. I cannot take time out in the middle of the day to go 45 minutes there and back, well, plus the time that it would take to spin with a guild. So I'm doing this completely on my own. And I know that I'm not the only one because I talk to the rest of you online. Where online? Mostly on Facebook. So you can find me on Facebook at Wool Envy. You can find me myself, Christy Day, on Facebook, and then you can also find tons of great resources on the Facebook group called Fiber Artist and Yarn Spinners. Now, I started out as a felter. I'm just getting into yarn making because, of course, I crochet, and now I'm starting to knit. So I highly recommend getting in a group, whether it be a Ravelry group, Instagram group, Facebook group. Get a group of people. There are fiber people all over the world, and they're the most helpful people you'll ever want to meet or hope to sort of meet online. So you can learn a lot from people without being right next to somebody. But I want to show you today some of the things that I never really got or understood from watching other videos. So hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for you. I'm not a great videographer, so please forgive me. I'm going to have to do some editing later on as I get up and move around and zoom in. But I want to give you a little introduction to the wheel. All right. Okay, so this is my Kromski wheel. It says Prelude down there. Well, it says Kromski down there. Underneath this thing, there's this little, I don't know what you call it, a wing nut, I guess. If you loosen that, you can move this thing back and forth. Why would you want to do that? Because you have two whirls. You have a little one and a bigger one. The bigger one allows you to go slower, which is what I like because I'm a beginning spinner and I don't want to go super fast. Once you master the big one, you can go to the little one. All right? They all, you know, your bobbins fit inside this thing. I guess it's called your flywheel. You have a hole here that comes out your orifice. When you're not spinning and you need to stop, you can just tie it around this little post so that it doesn't get all sucked up into there. I've just started some yarn. So I have a Slipknot. This is just kitchen string. I have a Slipknot on here that held it tight so that it was tight enough to grab in here. And then it goes across here and starts to go on to the bobbin. Now, the problem that I initially had was actually being able to get it to go on. The wheel was going, and see how my band is a little off to the side? You can move this over a little bit, but I fiddled with it a lot yesterday, and I'm tired of fiddling with it. So down here, you have your tension. So you've got this little spring. It goes around this other side of your bobbin. And then on the other side, let me take you around. So it goes around like that. It fits, wow, knocking into stuff. It fits. See, I already broke it once. So when you take it off, loosen it. So it goes through this little hook and over to here. Now this thing changes the tilt of your of this thing, so it make it go back further, and that has to do with how tight your your band is. This is going to change the speed at which your yarn gets sucked onto the bobbin. So if you want it to go faster onto the bobbin, you make it tighter and pull the spring up more. If you want it to go slower, you loosen it and the spring will go smaller and it'll take a lot longer to get sucked up. Hold on a second. Okay, the other thing is you might notice that I have a non-skid mat on here. I'm a felter, so I have a lot of these. But I was noticing as I was spinning, my wheel was pushing away from me because it was sliding on the wooden floor. So if you're on carpet, that won't be an issue. If you're on a wooden floor, it might be. All right, let's see about setting up the wheel. Do I have to explain this? I will, just because I want to make it crystal clear for you guys. Hold on a second. Okay, when you're getting started with your wheel, and you need to actually take your leader, which will be this string that you have a slip knot on, you'll string it through here, it'll go through this hole, and you'll take this thing, and you'll put it inside here, put it through this little hole, and hook it. So you'll hook that yarn right there, and then you'll pull it through the orifice. Once you've got that down, then you will adjust your tension. Now, I'm working on plying right now. Let me get this up a little bit so that you can see it. If you have to feed something on by hand, it's not the end of the world, okay? When you're working with really, really, really bulky yarn and you've got a small orifice, you're going to have to do that anyways. So don't feel like it's a total failure if you wind it on. Sometimes I do that if I want to be close to the orifice because I don't want to put a bunch of twist in it. If you over twist your yarn, it's not soft, like at all. Let me see if you can see that well. Back up just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now I'm applying black on black. Get my little chair over here. I gotta keep these separate. So I'm gonna hold it different. Oh, for crying out loud. I'll just go like this. Now normally you have a Lazy Kate, but I do not have a Lazy Kate yet. It's on my wish list, but I don't have one yet. So I'm putting them across like this. Now I'm gonna start plying, but if you're doing a single, what you're going to do is you're gonna get your leader. You're going to tie a slip knot. Maybe I should show you that really quick. You're gonna take this little leader thing through here. Oh, let's just get a piece of yarn. Let's just take some of this yarn. I don't know how it got all funky on here. But okay, so you're just gonna take your yarn. It's already come through this. You're going to tie a little loop on there. So we're going to pretend you've got a loop sticking out like this, right? You cinch it up and you put your fiber in there. Maybe it's soft fiber like this. Okay, so you'll just take a little of that fiber, you'll put it through that loop and cinch it up. It'll hold the tip of the fiber, and then that's how you'll start your spinning. Now, like I said, with the drafting, you really want to start with something like this. It's super easy. Because you'll just spin and you can draft it out thin. Now, I don't draft out really thin because I'm a beginning spinner, so everything I make is chunky. And a lot of people who spin real thin tell me, oh, I can't make chunky. So I'm just going to embrace making chunky, because that's about as thin as my singles get. But see, this is a little overspun right here. You see how it's coily? You really don't want it to be coiled, but when you spin in the opposite direction, you can take out some of that bounce. And then it just sucks right up into the thing. Now, I often thought to myself, well, what's the deal with these hooks? Well, there's no real big fancy deal to them. They won't move your yarn over at all on their own. So when you're done filling up this section, you'll just stop your wheel, move it over to the next hook, and it'll start to fill up that yarn. Now, let's say you're going and you're like me and you're like, wait a second, this is getting longer and longer and I don't want it to be that far away from the thing. Just tighten up your tension and loosen up your hold on this, because sometimes you'll hold it and you don't really even realize it, and you're creating more spin. So just let it go. That's why I love plying. Now, you might want to just start with plying. In fact, a lot of spinners had told me, hey, when you're just beginning and you're getting the feel for your wheel, just take 2 commercial yarns and ply them. Then you will get practice at making your wheel go back, around in the same direction without stopping. Okay, so do that for a while. I'm having to pull this off because I don't have a lazy cape. But you can make them with just like a shoebox and stuff. I just figured maybe this is why I have these little things. I don't know. I don't know if it's just for bobbin storage. This is how I'm using it. I don't follow rules because I don't have anybody here to teach me rules. So this is the way I do it. I do what works. If you're a perfectionist and it drives you crazy and you know how to do it, then just, go someplace else. This is for folks who have no resources like myself. I mean, in terms of other fiber people. So there you go. And when I need to take a break, because I often need to take a break because I have small children, I make sure that this other plied one is not going to tangle up with my other, because they will ply. And I'll just wrap it around there and boom. I think I covered it all. So you want to keep your foot down low on the... I've got a really short foot, so I have to keep my foot... when you're rocking your foot, you have to put pressure on the heel and pressure on the toe. Pressure on the heel and pressure on the toe to keep it going. It's not just like bike pedaling where you put all your emphasis on one and expect the wheel to come back up. It doesn't really do that. You also need to oil your wheel all the time. I found out at the gun place that they give these little sample tubes of gun lube, and it works awesome on your wheels. So if you're out in the country and you're near a hunting shop, you might pick yourself up some of these little gun lube samples. They work awesome and they're totally free. So there you go. I hope that helps.